100% attendance at this summit is what we have. Each and every podcaster who said that they would be here got here and got here on time. The level of perfection that this summit has produced is overwhelming. And you've been a part of it the whole time. So I want to thank you personally, you, the participant, you, the attendees, asking proper questions, being here with us as we grew and as we developed and as we created. But we do have one more incredible speaker. Reverend Kaelin. What's up, Reverend? Reverend Kaelin. So let's talk a little bit, give a brief introduction to Reverend Kaelin, who she's been for me and for the course. Also kind of living understated, but living into the name of her podcast, which she'll share in just a moment. There's something like the intra-realm traveler that Reverend Kaelin just occupies. She had a couple different really significant traumas during the course that she dealt with and rolled with right in front of us, right through us, right with us, and gave us an opportunity to roll with those traumas right here with us and kept on trucking. Reverend Kaelin is someone who really did occupy sort of a space off the ground, almost elevated, almost levitated, a space for which we all got to grow around you. We all got to be with you as you created your podcast. Kaelin came on really a three package. Three people joined on the same day, and that was Jackie Simmons, Katie Miller, and Reverend Katie Kaelin. And I have had the opportunity not only to work with the Reverend in this particular venue, but because of cross referrals, we've been working in another venue as well, which is going to assist us in future event productions. Our friendship has grown. We've had multiple conversations that were sort of, I guess, off the grid would be one way to put it. And we also had conversations about what it's like to have developed and grown right here in this program, next to her friends, Jackie and Katie, but also with all the new friends and the new colleagues and new support systems that Kelly both created and became a support for. So again, without any further hesitation, Reverend Kaelin, welcome to True Voice Podcast Summit. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. Wow, you got me all teared up there. Thanks. It's been a wild ride.
Yeah, it has been quite a wild ride, and we're coming to sort of the last tick of this part of the ride. There's a future for sure, but let's talk a little bit. When you signed on, you know, we barely had a conversation. You know, it was sort of like, can Reverend Kelly come on? It's like, oh yeah, she could come on too. And then you were here, and then you were in the course and in the course deep. Why don't you share with our listeners and our viewers, where were you, and what was True Voice Podcast, True Voice Podcasting Mastermind looking to you? What was it looking like to you when you joined the course?
Well, it was interesting. It's intriguing. Podcasting has intrigued me for a while. I've taken some other courses, and nothing had really stuck. And my work with Jackie and with Katie, I've been coming out of my shell more. I've been growing. I've been coming, getting the schmutz out of the way of me being me. And so stepping into something like podcasting with these two wonderful women was a privilege. It was something that I thought it would be so much fun to be able to create a podcast along with them. And so that's where I was. I was very enthusiastic about the process. So coming on board was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And did you have an idea how this thing would turn out, or what did you even have a title or an idea of what the future was going to hold for you as a podcaster?
Really not much of a clue, other than, I like to study metaphysics, kind of God beyond the Bible, because he's so much bigger than the Bible. And so I thought, maybe it would be something along those lines. I really didn't know.
Right.
And so, sometimes putting my words together, bringing rather esoteric concepts down into simpler words and in ways that they could be, concrete, universal, and picturable, as Jackie would say, cupped. That was difficult, and I wasn't sure how I was going to go about doing that. Mm-hmm. And I think that it really helped to take the course, just simply because, like the first few weeks of it were like, be you. Where are you on this? Start bringing your true voice forward. Start talking more. Start getting out there, and that helped me tremendously. And I'm very thankful for that piece of the course, because just as that piece was ending, I had a tragedy in my family. Mm-hmm. And so I was out for about 3 weeks. And that was probably, one of the hardest times of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, we were right there with you. And I know that. Yeah.
It's been quite the ride. Back in November, I lost my father. I usually don't say lost, and I'd like to take that back. My father passed. He was 86 years old, and I went to Texas to support him and my sister with some of his care. I did not know that he was dying. I think he knew, but he didn't let us know. And so I went for a visit and ended up being with my father when he passed. And it was a privilege to be there. I really didn't think I was going to get to see him again. And so dealing with all of that in the middle of this class and missing 3 weeks, and I come back and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm so far behind. And we talked, you and I. And you said something to me that has stuck with me, and it's come out of my mouth a few more times. And you said, what if you just decide you're not behind? And that was so powerful for me. It took me about 4 days to really get it. And then I was just like, well, what if I'm not behind? What if I'm just exactly where I'm supposed to be? And what if I don't worry about what I've missed, but I go forward with what's coming? And I did that, and I created a podcast. And it's been quite an amazing journey, a tough one, not because of you guys, probably a lot better because of you guys. It's been a really amazing journey to create my podcast, and I am so excited and so jazzed to record more and get more.
Beautiful. Tell us a little bit about Metaphysics of Life. What does that look like? What is that podcast?
Podcast in a nutshell is talking about spirituality, talking about God, talking about who we are beyond the Bible, beyond what we see outside, what we see with each other. We are so much more. And that journey, I think as humans, we're really kind of just starting again, it seems like. It seems like we've stepped away from God. We've stepped away from our spirituality. And with everything that's been going on, we've been stepping back into it. The inquiry is gotten stronger. The inquiry has gotten to be, people are starting to go, maybe I do need to pray.
Yeah, right.
Maybe there is something out there. And, really taking people from that faith, from a place of faith and belief, into knowing. And really knowing, because there's so much more out there. And it's incredible It's amazing. It's beyond your wildest dreams. Certainly been beyond mine. I had no concept of some of the things I've been experiencing and have talked with people about. It's so much fun. It's so incredible, and it hits at the very depth of your being. And that's the place, that place, that calm place way down deep inside where your mind is quiet and you hear your own inner knowing. That's what the metaphysics of life is about. And then how do we do that every day? How do we live our spirituality? How do we live the person that we truly are every day? That's what the metaphysics of life is about.
I remember this conversation, with, how about if you get how about if you just, get that you're not behind. And it really is something. It seems like it was like the day before yesterday. And now you're talking about that your whole heart, your whole self is into this podcast that you've created that is entirely consistent with your soul. Mm-hmm. Like you really have found a space here to bring your true voice forward.
I absolutely have. I am so grateful for that. I speak more. I speak up more. I am rather quiet usually, but you can get me talking, as you can see. Being able to speak my true voice, taking this course and finding that piece of me again is a gift I can't repay. Honestly. Can't repay it. All I can do is pay it forward, which is what you've said. Get your true voice out there. Get out there and do it. And that's how I can pay you back. Okay. But really, honestly, I'm so grateful for that gift. I'm so grateful.
Awesome. This is one of those moments, Kelly, where I don't really have anything to say other than thank you and acknowledged.
Well, thank you. It's, if anybody is on the fence for wanting to jump into the True Voice podcasting, I've taken a couple of classes before, podcasting classes before. Never ended up with a podcast. It was all about the technicality and stuff like that. Learning to bring your true voice forward before you ever get into the technical part of it was probably the most valuable part of the course for me.
Thank you. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Kelly, you really are sort of a beacon, an emblem for the whole course. And I guess it's no surprise that Katie put you on the back end of the run of show. She knew what she was doing, and she acts like it's random, but she put you last because that's where you needed to be, to sort of remind us why we're human and what we're doing here inside of a broader world that is so much more expansive than what we think it is in our silly little minds. So for you to bring the metaphysics of life to us so that somehow the whole world gets splayed open again on the other side of the summit, like we all get reminded that it is way broader than what we think it is, this life thing, and that we get to take on life in a new way, and that you're our reminder for that. It's a deep gratitude again, and a deep thank you for being you, for getting what you got from the course, and no doubt, just a deep invitation, of course, to stay in the community and keep bringing their true voice through this community. The True Voice community just welcomes you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Looks like Jim has a question for me.
All right, Jim Fowler.
My buddy, my podcast buddy.
Is he your podcast bud?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What you got there, Jim Fowler?
I don't have a question. I have a statement to make about Rev Kelly Kaelin.
All right.
So seriously, to acknowledge you.
Oh, thank you.
You were so courageous. So, the final end of this course is, okay, you're going to present your podcast at the summit, right? And I'm like, oh God, I got one done and it's kind of like wonky. And yeah, Dr. Fred did one, but I can't use his. That's going to be cheating. This whole thing about I can't do a podcast, and then you had mentioned she has a cat and how many dogs? 3 or 4? I
Three.
can't remember. 3 dogs. One of the dogs she inherited or got from her father, and she mentioned that her father had passed. Well, it's too bad. And she said, no, no pity. But she loved that this dog is adorable, by the way. And she'll talk to, I'm on a meeting right now. You'll wait. So we have these meetings, right? And one week was like, when you have someone holding you account for something, you kind of want to squirm out of it if you can get away with it. Like, oh, well, maybe she can't talk to me today. Oh, I can't get on. I didn't make excuses, but you really did hold me to account, but you held me with kind of a gentle grasp, let's say. And when I said that I had met Anthony the Garbage Man and I was going to interview him and then write a song about him, you were like, wow, I can't wait to hear it. And then it's like, if you were my daughter and you were at your first gymnastics final and I was going to miss it, you'd be like pretty disappointed. Whatever it was just pure enthusiasm for my podcast. Okay. The last meeting we had, which was last Friday, she shared, I'm telling you all this, that her father had passed in the middle of this course. And I was like, because you never once looked for pity. You didn't once look for the kind of sympathy that would have been normal to ask for. You never even talked about it until the last time. And I was just like, wow, what a generous person you are. So that's what I want to leave you with, is you empowered me to get it done. And I get that you've arrived at a place. And it was just a pleasure to get to know you. And that's what I want to leave you with. Gratitude and acknowledgement of your strength and your vulnerability.
Thank
That's
you,
really
Gina.
it. Thank you. Sure.
I really enjoyed being your partner.
I'm glad you did.
Okay, perfect podners. And thank you very much, Kelly. It's been a pleasure. We will catch you on the flip side. Thank you for bringing your love and your humanity forward. Super great. Thank you for being the caboose on the end of this, on the end of the weekend journey. Really beautiful.
Thank you, Dr. Fred. Very much appreciate you.
Thank you.